Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily stock market review for the trading day ending Wednesday, June 8th. Firstly to the S&P 500, and here we see a continuation of the trend to the upside today. Current candle forming a higher high and a higher low. Some solid upside momentum built with an extension of the size of the white body on the previous body. So the buyers returning with some force here today, building some momentum. Previous day's trading we saw the strong rejection from higher levels, and the 21.19 level holding as resistance for the previous day's trading, as it has done for today. Now for the previous day we also saw the formation of a large shadow on the top with a small body, and the market closing down towards the low, suggesting the buyers had lost commitment and that the sellers had taken control. It did set the market up for a change of trend, but as always we require confirmation, and we didn't see that confirmation. We saw the buyers continuing the market today, and as I've mentioned, closing with control, but resistance coming in at the 21.19 level as it did the previous day. Our next area for trading is 21.25, and then the major high up at 21.34. This build of momentum does look solid, but we are trading within this area where we do have strong resistance overhead. So the problem here is that anything can happen around here. We could see similar type of rejection from these higher levels, even without a change of trend initially. So we will be watching very carefully how the market reacts around these levels. If we do see any rejection from this area, good likelihood of the market testing back down to around the 2100 level, where we're likely to find very solid support coming in line with the Tenkan-sen trading around that region. In terms of Ichimoku, continuing the trend in all three timeframes, strongly supported by the Chica span. To the bands with the S&P, and still maintaining solid bullish activity up above the upper band suggests a very strong bullish tone. If we do see a retracement, watching the upper band at 2104, close to that 2100 round number, to act as very strong support. To the Russell 2000, and continued strength here in this index. The trend is up in all three timeframes, trading above the cloud, the Kijun-sen, the Tenkan-sen. They're both pointing up sharply, reflecting solid upside momentum, as are the Ichimoku cloud and the Chica span. So good, strong upside momentum. Just looking a little overextended in depth away from the Ichimoku cloud. A retracement here would be very healthy for the market, as long as we do obviously find support around one of these levels. We have traded through the previous resistance area 1182 in a very strong bullish manner. This certainly does look as though the market is attempting to build some momentum, and good possibility of us testing to that round number 1200, which is just above where we're trading, although we may face some resistance at 1191 before we trade up to that region. If the market does come off, 1182 support, 1167, and then certainly the Tenkan-sen trading at 1163. The Russell 2000 also looks very strong in terms of the bands, and if we do see any retracement, looking to support at 1166 at the upper band, just looking a little wide, so wouldn't surprise to see the market attempt to find some equilibrium, and that's the first area at the upper band where we'll look to the buyers to return back into the market. Next to the Nasdaq 100, and fairly weak activity here. And weak in terms of there being a downtrend in place, so very different than we saw with the other indexes, and also formation of an indecisive, almost a doji type candle, very much indecisive. And if we look at over the last couple of days, the market is congesting. We are trading within a zone of resistance that extends up to 45.52, also within a window, and we're not seeing strong rejection from this window, but we're not seeing the market make many strong inroads into the window and attempt to close the window. So a lot of indecision in this market. We have found support at the Tenkan-sen today, and this is the closest that we've come to the Tenkan-sen for the last couple of weeks. So importantly, we have bounced off there. The sellers have lost commitment there, but we will be watching the Tenkan-sen as our benchmark moving forward. It trades at 45.03. If we do trade down through there, looking to support at the area just below about 44.83, and then down at the area around 44.48, and with the Ichimoku cloud trading just below there around 44.33 roughly. That should be an area where very, very strong support comes in. But still technically a bullish market in the short-term time frame, only just, but fairly strongly bullish in the medium and the longer-term time frame by trading above both the Kijun-sen and the cloud. Also bearing in mind that the Chiká span is supporting the bullish activity that we're seeing. It is trading up above the corresponding price activity, but if we look at it, it is moving flat, and it's reflecting this congestion that the market's in at the moment. And looking to the bands with the Nasdaq 100, and importantly today, once again the area just within the bands and at the top of the bands is holding a support. The bands are very wide, much wider than we've seen with the other indexes, and it wouldn't surprise to see the market retrace back to within the bands to attempt to find equilibrium around the middle of the bands, which trades at 44.33. Having said that, however, we still haven't closed within the bands. With the indecision in the market, we could see either the buyers return or the sellers come into the market, and that's what this type of candle is all about. There's no strength from the buyers, no strength from the sellers. To the Dow 30, and a bullish candle here today. The previous day's trading, there was potential for a change of trend with something of a doji candle where the sellers take control, and the market was rejected from above the 17,967 area and the top of this highlighted zone just above there at 17,993. Today we've closed just above there in a bullish manner, and this suggests that the buyers may be building momentum for an assault on this next higher level up around the 18,103 level. We do have a strong zone of resistance that extends up to about the 18,214, but this solid bullish close on a breakout outside of these regions does suggest that the buyers are showing some strength again, in line with the market being bullish in all three timeframes and supported by the Chiká span. And our bands are seeing a resumption of the strength in the Dow 30 as opposed to the other markets where we saw a stronger market previously by continually trading outside of the band. The Dow had retraced to trade within the band, suggesting that relatively it was a weaker market. We have seen another breakout and some follow through now, and this does suggest a possibility of a continuation of this strong tone in this trend to the upside. If we do see the Dow come off looking to the upper band at 17,889 to hold a support, and if we look at the squeeze that happened just recently, it was only a small squeeze, but we haven't seen the bands expand, so we're not seeing a lot of volatility coming into this market, and that means that we're not seeing strong trending activity, or we haven't seen that obviously because we saw the market mean revert, but the bands are now just starting to turn wider, and it is suggesting that there is some strength to this breakout.